Okay, welcome back to lesson 25, multiplying and dividing decimal numbers. Let's get going. Okay, our first objective is to multiply decimals. We got 3 examples here. Okay, steps. First one is to multiply the numbers, ignoring the decimal points. So let's go ahead and get started on our examples here. So first thing you should do is rewrite the problem. Okay, now I always like to put the one with the most decimal places on the top, okay, or the most total numbers on top. So here we got 0.3 and this one's got 0.12. So we want to put this one on the top because it's got the most numbers. Okay? And we don't need to line up the decimal points on this. So I've got 0.12. And you line up the digits. Okay? So I'm going to go 0.3. Notice, don't line up the decimal points, you line up the digits here. So now I'm going to, step 1, multiply the numbers. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 1 is 3. And I got 0. And then I could do the next line and put a 0 right here, but everything's going to 0 out because we're multiplying by 0. So this is all I need right here. Okay? So next step is to count how many decimal places are in the problem. Okay? Well, up here on top, I've got 2 decimal places. And on the bottom, I've got 1 decimal place. So what that tells me is I'm going to need 3 decimal places in my answer. Okay? Now I need to put the decimal in the right spot. If I need 3 decimal places, I'm going to start on the right and count 1, 2. Look, I don't have enough digits here. So I need to add in a 0 and put the decimal right here. Okay? Now, I've got my 3 decimal places right here. Because in the problem I had 1, 2, 3. Well, I should always put a 0 out in front of this decimal here. So it's 0.036. Okay? Example B. Let's follow the same steps. Well, 1.5 squared means 1.5 times 1.5. So multiply the numbers ignoring the decimals. 5 times 5, 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. Bring my 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. Now I'm going to add them. Okay. Now I count the decimal places in the problem. Well, I've got 1 up top, 1 down bottom. Again, it's the numbers after the decimal. So my answer needs to have 2 decimal places. So I'm going to start on the right and count 1, 2, and put my decimal point between the 2's. 2.25. Alright, and now the last one. C. I've got 4.25 times 10. On my first row, 0, 0, and 0, because they all multiply to get 0. I'm going to put a 0 at the bottom. 5 times 1 is 5, 2 times 1 is 2, 4 times 1 is 4. And I'm going to add them up. Now again, count the decimal places in my problem. Well, the top line has 2, the bottom line has 0. So I need my answer needs 2. Start on the right, count 2 places over. I get 42.50. Now I could leave it like that, but when the decimal's on the end, I really don't need it. So I'm going to rewrite this as 42.5. Alright, let's go on to some more examples. Okay, example 2. I want to know what is the cost of 0.86 pounds of cheese at $3.90 per pound, and explain why my answer is reasonable. Alright, well, this is a multiplication problem because I've got some number of pounds of cheese and I know how much per pound. Okay, whenever I see per pound, I should know I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to take 3.90 times 0.86 and multiply those. Okay, again, lining up the digits, not necessarily the decimal points. Oh, 0 times 6 is 0, 9 times 6 is 54, and I carry my 5. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 5 is 23. And down to 0. 0 times 8 is 0. 9 times 8 is 72. Carry my 7 now. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 7 is 31. Again, I could multiply everything times this 0, but 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 9 is 0, and 0 times 3 is 0, so I would just add zeros at the end, so I don't need to do that. So I'm going to add them now. Okay. Now again, we need to count the decimal places in our answer here. I got 2 up top and 2 in bottom. That means I need 4 in my answer. So I'm going to start on the right and count 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go right in here between the two 3's. Oops. So I'd get 3.3540. Now think about this here. Okay? I am telling the cost of some number of pounds of cheese. I would never write money like this, so I need to round to the second decimal place right here. So remember, when I round, I'm going to circle, I'm going to underline this number and circle the one I'm using to round. And it tells the 4 tell me to round up or keep the 5 the same, and it tells me to keep the 5 the same. So I got $3.35. Okay? Now explain why your answer is reasonable. Well, to check and see if it's reasonable, we should go ahead and estimate these. Well, 3.90 would round to 4, 0.86 would round to 1, and if I multiply those, I should get somewhere around $4. Okay? We'll explain. Our answer is reasonable because it should be close to $4. And that's according to our estimate. And we showed our estimate right up top here. Okay, so that's showing our work car estimate. Alright, let's keep moving on.